Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We've got a really good group of clips today. Before we get started, don't forget to click like and leave a comment. I hope you're all able to make it to the end of the video. We've got some really good stuff I don't want anyone to miss. But with all that out of the way, let's get after it.
Scientists just tested kids' shirts from fast fashion stores and found toxic lead in every single one of them. So every single shirt that they tested came back with lead in it, and the red and the yellow ones actually were the worst because of the chemicals that they used to make the bright colors. Some of the companies actually put lead in the dye on purpose because it makes the colors brighter, and it's way cheaper than using the safe option. This isn't just a random study either, because Shein and Temu are already under federal investigation right now for toxic chemicals that were found inside of their kids' clothing. South Korea also just tested their products separately and found lead levels 10 times higher than the legal limit. Hello? They also just tested what would happen whenever a kid would chew on the fabric, because obviously every single parent knows that they would. And even with just a few seconds of a child chewing on the fabric, it would exceed the FDA's daily limit for lead with children.
It's going to build up in the body, and so that level goes up and your risk of a health effect is going to be worse.
The CDC says that there is no safe level of lead within kids, obviously, because it's linked to permanent brain damage and lower IQ. Safe alternatives do exist, they just cost more. So they went with lead instead.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, our country is buying clothing in bulk from a country that openly despises us. And then when we do testing on that clothing, we discover that they are putting in additives that everyone knows will potentially lead to long-term cognitive impairment in our citizens. This should lead to us reevaluating all of the items that we purchase from China. But all that's really going to happen is you'll hear a handful of media stories talking about it. They'll pass some law that seems to address the issue but doesn't actually do anything. And then they'll simply ask China to promise not to do that again. Why are we still buying our products from a country that hates us? Of course they're going to cut corners. They're not worried about the cognitive ability of our citizens. It would benefit them if we were all eating the lead paint. We need to be checking any item that comes from China, because they're probably doing this with everything they sell us.
Over a third of Ireland's fuel stations are empty, and truck and tractor drivers are protesting nationwide. You thought we had it bad in America. So as of right now, Fuels for Ireland, which represents distributors and filling stations, said about 600 of Ireland's 1,500 gas stations nationwide have already run out of supplies. Ran out of gas. A third. Now, not only that, there's a 20% rise in diesel prices. So the Irish got mad. Farmers and haulers have been blocking tankers from entering or leaving the Whitegate plant since Wednesday in protest against the surging price of motor fuel. The Whitegate plant makes all their petroleum. Thomas Byrne, Ireland's junior minister for European Affairs and Defense, said if the Whitegate oil refinery isn't reopened, this country will shut down. They didn't just blockade the refinery. They blockaded ports, they blockaded trucks. This has been going on for 5 days, people. And it looks like just today, Sunday, they finally cleared out the blockade around the refinery. The next move is the ports. You know what? I don't blame the Irish at all. I would be madder than hell too. This has nothing to do with them. This is crazy, and it seems like it's only going to get crazier.
I kind of like this approach. So the government of Ireland comes out and tells its citizens, we're going to increase the price of fuel by 20 to 30%. We're experiencing a shortage, and so we're going to take advantage of the situation and charge everyone a premium for it. And so the citizens of Ireland said, no, we're going to shut this country down, and you're not going to make a penny. Essentially telling the government, if you think you're going to charge us a premium price for a product that there should be plenty of, we're just going to stop buying it altogether. And I don't know for sure if that's the mentality behind what they're doing here, but I can't help but to smile whenever I think about all of these elites who thought, all right, gas is going to be really expensive, we're going to make a premium, only to sit there and watch over a third of their fueling stations get completely shut down and completely emptied of all fuel. And now they're not making a penny off of any of that, when if they had just left things alone and charged people the proper amount for their fuel, they would have at least made the money that they would have made had they not created this situation.
You guys have got to check this out. So no one's talking about this, but the food prices have just doubled within a week, and apparently it's due to crazy weathers and random flooding. Listen to this.
Just want to explain to you one or two things today. Put the Spanish properly there. This time last week, a box of broccoli like that, I paid £9.90. And 6 kilo of broccoli last Friday cost me £9.90. We buy 20 boxes on a Friday. Today, this broccoli, same weight, Spanish broccoli, cost me £24 a box. So, 15 quid a box or so dearer than this time last week. Then we move across here, tomatoes, Moroccan tomatoes. This time of year, you'd expect to pay somewhere between £6.50 and £7 a box for tomatoes. I'm sure there's people watching this in the trade who understand what I'm saying. So let's say £7 normally. This morning, £20. £20 a box, I've paid for that tomato this morning. Bit of cherry vine, 3 kilo cherry vine. Again, ordinarily you'd be paid somewhere around, let's say 10 quid ordinarily. This morning, £17.50. Vine tomatoes, these are from Belgium, they've just got started nicely. They're only 5 kilo boxes. Again, we'd expect to be paying somewhere like £9 a box for that this time of year. £18 this morning.
Carries on talking about all the other veg. Every price of every veg has near enough doubled within a week. So let me ask you this. Would you be ready if food suddenly became hard to get? Because this is what's happening right now.
And if you think about it, this, as scary as this is just simply the cost going up. Imagine when it gets to the point that it doesn't matter how much money you have in your pocket. You just can't physically get your hands on the food when there is none available. Because I'm pretty sure we've all noticed over the past handful of years, nothing really ever seems to get better. We just keep hitting a new low, and then hitting a new low, and then hitting a new one. This idea of things will eventually course correct and get back to normal, no one's even thinking that anymore. We all know better. But seeing these prices double like this in the span of a week really makes me wonder if there's not a massive shortage coming. That maybe the companies that produce these things are seeing that pretty soon they're going to turn no profit because there will be nothing to sell. So they better try to make up the difference while they still have the chance. What do y'all think?
Check out this video from a manufacturing plant in India. All these factory workers are wearing head-mounted cameras on the job. So now every hand movement is all being recorded in real time. My guess is it's the trained robots that are eventually going to replace them. Now, a few weeks ago, I covered how DoorDash is paying couriers now to film themselves doing everyday physical tasks for AI training. And at the time, you're probably like, that looks relatively harmless, right? But this is a step change. These are factory workers now being instrumented in their actual jobs so that every fine motor skill, every movement pattern, every real-world workflow on a manufacturing floor is getting fed directly into the models that are training robots that will eventually replace them. And here's the critical difference now. Up until now, robotics AI was usually trained in these controlled lab environments, like the ideal conditions for the outcomes. But that system doesn't really scale, and so the data has a ceiling to it. It also doesn't capture data that's happening on these messy, unpredictable factory floors. But this first-person data does, and that's going to change how fast these models can actually learn now. So think about what this means. There are 460 million manufacturing workers in the world. And now there's a way to turn all these factory workers into now training data sets. So think about what this scales to, because manufacturing is just the starting point. Then comes construction, surgery, logistics, any profession where the knowledge sits within the hands of the person actually doing the job. Now that knowledge is capturable and then transferable and trainable. We're now watching this moment where human physical expertise now becomes a data set. And so as always, we try to think, what does this mean for founders and investors? The picks and shovels play here is the data infrastructure for physical AI. The companies that are building the tools to capture this data, label it properly, and create pipelines for this first-person human motion data at scale. And then on the hardware side, every physical industry is going to need a vertical robotics play. It's going to be kind of the same way that every software industry needed their own specific SaaS layer. And again, those companies, they're being founded right now. We're not at the end of this. We're at the very, very beginning.
And when you think about the way that these AI systems compound knowledge, they could probably do this for a week in an individual factory. Let's say you've got 200 employees in there and they're all wearing these devices for a week. If those 200 people all individually supplied 40 hours each of data that's showing what they're doing, when something goes wrong, How do they address a specific issue? Maybe it's an issue that's reoccurring. But now any issue that those 200 people had at any one point during that week is now knowable by any AI or robot that's going to be hired to do that task in the future. Let these people wear these things for 6 months, and the odds are any issue that any of those 200 people would have come into contact with, they would have come into contact with that issue during that 6-month period. And any issues that within that 6 months did not present itself, there's probably collectively enough data off of what they did collect that the machine will be able to figure out its own solution, and it won't have to reference what a human did. I thought for a long time that things like the trades would be like the last thing to get automated, but you just give it a year, you'll have some company that's figured this out. They'll be able to send a robot up into your house to redo your ductwork, to rewire your entire house's electricity, cut out bad plumbing and replace it. It's just a matter of time. Literally, our entire world is about to change.
Scientists just created the first pill ever designed to make your dog live longer, and it could be available by the end of this year. Obviously, nothing like this has ever existed before for any living thing on the entire planet, and the way that it works is genuinely insane.
First in the nation study is pioneering this longevity medication for dogs.
Basically, the reason why big dogs don't live nearly as long as small dogs do comes down to one single hormone. A Great Dane lives about 7 years long, and a Chihuahua would live 15. It's the same exact species, but it's completely different lifespans. This pill that scientists are creating right now will go after that exact hormone and basically tell your dog's body to slow it down. In early results of the study, they were actually able to see at least 1 extra year of life, which is about 5 years in dog years.
Studying with this 5-year-long trial is exactly how much time we can get, but we're hoping for at least 1 year of very good quality life.
And if this is able to get fully approved, it would officially become the first anti-aging drug that has ever been cleared for any species on the planet. They've already been able to clear 2 of the 3 FDA steps, and the last one could happen now at any day. If it clears, you could be giving this to your dog by the end of this year in 2026, and it'll only be around $40 to $90 per month. Our dogs are about to have a better healthcare plan than we do.
They can tell us that that's what this pill is designed for, and they can tempt us to give it to our animals for a mere $40 a month. But considering what they did recently in secret to the rabies vaccines, I think I'll pass. Like with anything, you can't trust these people. It's like people forget that all of this stuff is not created because of passionate people who just want to see animals live longer, happier lives. This is all done because someone saw a window of opportunity to turn a profit. It's all done for money. And that's why you get unreliable claims being made about certain medications, because it's not really that expensive to get hit with some sort of a financial fine years down the road for making that false claim compared to all of the profit you're going to make during that 5 to 10 years of selling your product that they shouldn't have been allowing you to sell. But I don't plan on giving this to any of my animals. Besides, who knows, this could be the start of the animal zombie apocalypse. And the fact that they're just recently going through trials tells me that they probably don't have any long-term data on what the potential side effects are of giving this to an animal long term.
He wants to warn everybody about Lyme disease, and they are projecting one of the worst seasons of all time.
Did you say that Lyme disease is highly likely a materially engineered bioweapon? I made sure I put in the highly likely. Did you say Lyme disease is a highly likely militarily engineered bioweapon?
I probably did say that.
Did you say that?
And that's what the developer of Lyme
I want all of
disease
our
said.
colleagues to hear it, Mr. Kennedy. I want them to hear it. You said yes.
I've had Lyme disease. I've lived in the epicenter of Lyme disease. Every member of my family my immediate family has had Lyme disease. There's nobody who will fight harder to find a vaccine or a treatment for Lyme disease than me.
And so this is what's happening.
Holy cow, folks, we may actually have a Lyme disease vaccine in the near future. It's manufactured by Pfizer and Valneva. It's a 4-dose vaccine series. So after the first dose, you get the second one 2 months later, the third 5 to 9 months after the second dose, and the fourth dose is a year after that third dose. And while the clinical trial has not been published or peer-reviewed yet, according to the press release, they had a clinical trial where they randomized to either get the vaccine or a placebo of close to 10,000 individuals ages 5 years and up, and it was over 70% effective at preventing infection compared to placebo. Now, the way that this vaccine works is kind of like a traditional vaccine.
I want to know what geniuses are out here signing up for a Pfizer vaccine trial. Seriously, is there a large part of the population out there walking around with a death wish I was unaware of? What a horrible idea. And even if they did come out with this and it was legit 70% efficacy, most people are not going to trust it because of who it's connected to. We've all learned. So I'm curious, at what point is Pfizer going to realize that it would probably be in their financial interest to just completely change names to distance their company from the Pfizer branding? Honestly, you would be hard pressed to find a company out there right now with more PR issues than Pfizer.
Someone just turned smart glasses into a live AI agent with eyes and ears. It's called Vision Claw. I guess we're just gonna run this claw thing till the wheels fall off, huh? And this was open source, just released in the last 10 days. Built by this developer, Sean Liu. Remember that name. And it streams whatever you're seeing and hearing in real life into an AI agent in real time. Like you'll see in this demo I'm about to show you, he takes the Meta Ray-Ban glasses and then it captures the video and the audio, sends it into Gemini Live, which is Google's new multimodal model that can understand voice and vision simultaneously. And then it connects to OpenClaw, which has all the 50 plus integrations into things like WhatsApp, your Google Calendar, Notion, even smart home tools. But let's watch this demo first so you can see exactly what I mean.
Hey Clawbot, can you help me add this into my Amazon cart?
Sure, I can help with that. I see the Monster Ultra Strawberry Dreams energy drink. I'll look that up to add to your Amazon cart. It's added to your cart. Is there anything else I can help with?
Cool, thank you.
So you saw that and you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. But let's see what it looks like when someone wears those Ray-Ban glasses with Vision Claw and goes outside.
With these glasses, and now I have eyes to my AI.
We need to do something about clearing this road. Incredibly messy. I think it's a weather problem here in Toronto.
Point 2. Road conditions messy. Attributed to weather conditions in Toronto. Reaction. Log for immediate maintenance scheduling. Prioritized for clearing due to potential safety hazards.
AI is jumping out of the browser tab. Rather than you prompting it on a screen, now it's moving through the real world with you. It's understanding context, but most importantly, taking action while you're in motion. You don't have to look down at the screen and fiddle with your thumbs to get what you want. It's actually taking action while you're just dictating and keep moving. Now, we've been talking about AI and software up until this point, and this is AI plugged into perception. Once agents can see and act in the physical world, the interface isn't your screen anymore. It's reality. And just like OpenClaw just got scooped up by OpenAI in what felt like, 3 seconds? Who do you think is going to try to buy Vision Claw before it actually gets some real traction? Because this layer, vision plus action in real time, in motion, is way too strategic to stay independent for too long. We all know the rumors about all the AI hardware that's about to be released this year.
You know, watching this, I can't help but be reminded of all of the people who use like a smart home device, like a Google Nest or an Echo Dot, and they'll talk to that thing and they'll tell them, hey, add X product to my Amazon shopping cart. And then it just tells you X product has been added to your Amazon shopping cart. But I wonder how common it is for people to add something to their shopping cart using that method, then check out without ever looking to see what their total was. And then they end up spending 3 or 4 times the amount they should have spent because the AI assistant or whatever added a more expensive version of something that had a cheaper alternative available just because it was the first thing that popped up whenever it ran a search. But this makes me wonder, how many times have you been on Amazon and you're looking for a specific product and you find there's that random listing that, you know, no bells and whistles, just the basic product you're looking for, but they're asking 3 or 4 times the cost of what it should be. I wonder if this is people adding products making them 3 or 4 times the cost of what they ought to be, and then just sitting back and crossing their fingers hoping that someone uses one of these AI assistants to add a product to their cart that they can then charge them 4 times the cost of. Because a lot of these people with money, they don't pay attention to how much their actual cart is going to be whenever they go to check out. They just make sure that the products they're wanting are still in the cart. But I just wonder how often that happens. And I can't help but wonder if that specific thing is the reason why there are items listed at astronomical prices on Amazon for seemingly no other reason. What do you all think?
Okay, this is probably the last video that I'm going to make about this image that President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social and then immediately deleted because he looks like he's trying to be like Jesus, depicting himself as Jesus. But I get a lot of people asking me in the comments, well, who is this figure up at the top? Is this some kind of a demon or is it an angel? MAGA supporters are saying, oh, it's supposed to be the Statue of Liberty or like an angel coming down or something like that. But I've got bad news for you. It's really not, okay? So there's fallen soldiers. There's this image up in the top in the center. It comes from this book called The Last Pull. This is the exact same image that the AI was used when the other guy created this. Notice the wings where the fallen soldiers are. Notice the crown on the head. This is a book about the apocalypse, about the end of the world and doomsday, where regular common man is pitted against the people in power and demonic forces and fallen angels coming to earth. So this is technically supposed to be like Satan coming down. Look at the giant bat wings that have been replaced by the fallen soldiers in the sky. Look at the 3 horns on the head. It's not even wings going up. This thing has 4 arms, and then out to the side is the giant outspread wings behind it. So this is a straight up like demonic symbol. This is like Baal or something like that. So this is a book from the apocalypse. It's a role-playing game where you're trying to survive the end of the world and doomsday when Satan basically returns to earth and you're trying to survive. So this is what the entity actually looks like. It's got 4 arms and this whole demonic face and this crown of horns coming off the top of its head and these giant devil wings spread out to the side. And now where the devil wings are is supposed to be fallen soldiers or veterans of war that died at war. And this is just straight up, this isn't really changed that much at all. It's clearly 4 arms holding the hands over there of the fallen soldiers. This is the original image. So if he's supposed to be a Red Cross doctor, why is it depicting this demonic, satanic symbol of Baal or Satan up at the top coming down from the sky holding the hands of fallen soldiers? So anyway, that's what it's from.
Trump has really been ramping up the blasphemies here lately. This isn't the only questionable post he's made, and I'm just talking about in the past few days. But then you watch the interview where he's trying to explain this away, try to make it make sense. Typically, Trump doesn't do the talking in circles bit. He's usually either direct and in your face with his response, or he'll flat out tell you, I'm not going to answer that question. But I think this was one of those rare moments where when he's trying to answer questions about this in an interview, it just comes across as if he doesn't know what to say, so he's just talking in circles and talking in circles, and eventually comes back around to where he started and has said nothing other than he thought this image was fun because in his eyes, it made him look like a doctor. And he's trying to help people, and he loves helping people. But no one will ever convince me that this man, as smart as he is, as knowledgeable about what's going on as he is, no one will ever convince me that this was just a mistake made out of ignorance. That he just didn't see what everyone else is seeing. That he just doesn't know what the fuss is all about. But for all of you who see Donald Trump as this prophesied about character that will usher in the final days, it would appear that he also sees himself that way. That's very interesting. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with another one. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to click like and leave a comment to increase the odds of my next upload showing up in your feed. But guys and gals, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.